Dr. Wiemi Douoguih, Medical Director for MedStar Sports Medicine and Medical Director for the Washington Wizards and Washington Capitals. So I've been an orthopedic surgeon for the last 13 years, trained in sports medicine. I was an athlete as a kid, played lacrosse and competed in judo nationally and internationally. And that was sort of where I got my interest in orthopedic surgery and specifically sports medicine. I knew at some point I wouldn't be able to play anymore, and I wanted to be able to give back to the sports that had given so much to me. As it turned out, I ended up working in sports, very diverse group of sports that ranged from judo and lacrosse to baseball and basketball and others. And in the training process, you really learn about all sports. So one of the wonderful things about the program that's being developed is that I think some of the things that we're talking about here are applicable to all different kinds of athletes. Well, it's interesting, there's a lot of trends right now, and everyone's talking about injury prevention and things we need to do to get better. The reality is we're just sort of at the tip of the iceberg of understanding what makes an athlete better, what prevents injury. And so I think as a sports scientist and orthopedic surgeon, I think some of the things that we can do is sort of level the playing field and bring everybody back home and say, okay, well, we don't know about these things, but let's start to collect the data. Let's talk about this in a reasonable manner. Let's not get emotional about it, so that in the long term we figure out a positive solution instead of following a trend that we may find out 5 years down the line is actually something that's detrimental to the athlete. Well, now we know that with concussions, for example, that what may have been a mild concussion may actually have a lasting impact that could affect them into their adult life, make it difficult to hold a job down the line. So we're taking some of these things much more seriously and examining them on a much more rigorous manner scientifically. I think one of the benefits now that the professional leagues are looking at these problems more carefully is that it can trickle down to the high school athletes, to the college athlete, when the kid is obviously at a much more vulnerable time in their professional and development in general. We may be able to use some of these lessons we're gaining from the pro ranks to help the kids at the lowest levels before they get into trouble that they can't turn back and fix.